The following program is produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.
This is Mark Wells, and this is part 3 of the Wells Report on Afro-Latinos and Blackness for My People. In this third installment on Blackness and Afro-Latinos, I will explore how the comments of baseball player Torii are loaded with further implications and contradictions regarding the issues of race and ethnicity. On March 11th, Torii of the LA Angels became the center of attention when he said that Latino baseball players were imposters or not black, and that only African Americans or U.S.-born black people are black. There are several problems with Hunter's comments. First of all, I would ask Mr. Hunter what makes a person black. Is it the physical appearance? Would it be a person's affinity for certain cultural practices? Is it a person's political views? If he were to consider just those 3 areas, he may have enough problems just identifying some U.S.-born African descendants as black, without even considering Latinos of African descent. If we're speaking only about physical appearance or genetic background, would he also reject as black people like actresses Halle Berry, Paula Patton, and singer Mariah Carey? All 3 of these women are products of interracial relationships, but still define themselves as black. Actress Paula Patton recently revealed in an interview with Women's Health magazine that she found the term biracial offensive and a means for some people to distance themselves from other black people. Maybe Torii Hunter only counts as black those people who adhere to some sort of black cultural practice. But if that was the case, what would he have to say about legendary singer Charlie Pride, who made his mark in the world of country music and not R&B, gospel, or soul? What about singer Denise Graves, who we would never hear on black radio stations because she made her mark in the world of opera? And what about linguist and political commentator John McWhorter, who doesn't exactly talk as if he came straight out of the hood?
That word was going to kind of come up. I got it from something Orlando Patterson wrote.
Now, if you support the cultural blackness argument, you are in essence saying that someone like rapper Eminem is blacker than Charlie Pride, Denise Graves, or John McWhorter. This is problematic because you risk pigeonholing blackness into one monolithic description, which would exclude a whole lot of black folk that don't necessarily adhere to or fit into such narrow definitions of blackness. If Torii Hunter doesn't consider Latinos of African descent to be black because they may have different cultural backgrounds than U.S.-born black people, I wonder how he feels about the political leanings of people like Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell, Shelby Steele, or Clarence Thomas. All of these people look and consider themselves black, yet their political views are firmly planted on the conservative side of the fence, completely against the grain of the average black voter, 85% of whom have voted for Democratic presidential candidates for the past 16 years. In general, black people hated George W. Bush, yet 2 of Bush's most visible appointees and public faces of his war on terror were Colin Powell and then Condoleezza Rice. This leads to the question that plagued the then Senator Barack Obama during the first months of his campaign to become president of the U.S. Come on now, y'all remember, before 96% of U.S.-born black people jumped on the Obama bandwagon, we were asking ourselves if he was black enough. Remember? When Obama announced his candidacy for presidency, many black people were behind Hillary Clinton. You know, the wife of Bill Clinton, who some of black Americans labeled America's first black president. And now that Obama has been in office for about 16 months or so, U.S.-born black people must accept the fact that Obama will never truly represent the aspirations of black America because, as he has said repeatedly, he is the president of all Americans. So then, since he ain't representing, does that mean that his ghetto pass should be revoked or that he never truly had a ghetto pass in the first place? It's a complex question, to be sure. Generally, U.S.-born black Americans expect black political figures to represent their interests. But what's fascinating is that even though Obama has consistently refused to champion specifically black issues, he is still adored and accepted as one of our own, as his image can be seen throughout Ghetto USA on various t-shirts, buildings, magazine covers, and paintings. Obama Hunter represents perhaps the greatest contradiction in black identity and acceptance. He spent many of his formative years away from any traditional black community. He spent parts of his youth in Hawaii and Indonesia, not Southside Chicago, nor Philadelphia or Detroit. In this sense, Barack Obama's view of the world would be a little different from that of the typical African American. Yet, US-born black people are very proud of Barack Obama, even though he has proven to be more of corporate America's president than black America's president. So how does all of this relate to Torii Hunter's view of Latino baseball players of African descent as imposters or not black? Well, it's simple. Persons of African descent face discrimination, stigmatization, and exclusion all over the world. So how can someone like Torii Hunter exclude the black experience of Latinos of African descent who have also faced these challenges in not only the US, but also most likely in their native lands? It's funny that this issue of race, ethnicity, and nationality should arise over discussion about sports. But then again, it's on the sports field that we can sometimes gauge the depths of one's identity. For example, does the average American define themselves more by their nationality or by their racial identity? I wonder. So my question for somebody like Torii Hunter or anyone who thinks like him would be this. Let us imagine that there was an Olympic competition in the sport of volleyball that played out this way. An all-white American volleyball team was being challenged for the gold medal by a team of all-black Venezuelans. Which team would you be rooting for? Now that's a question that only you can answer. But for me, the bottom line is this. Just as white Americans don't have a monopoly on being American, US-born black Americans don't have a monopoly on being black. And Torii Hunter and any other US-born person of African descent would do well to remember this. This is Mark Wells, and this has been part 3 of the Wells Report on Afro-Latinos and Blackness for My People.
If you have a business in Metro Detroit, you should be in the Detroit Black Pages. For info, call 961-3289. That's 961-3289.
Hi, this is Ron Scott, and each week we have an opportunity to discuss a number of subjects right here on For My People, which is a production of Project BAIT, Black Awareness and Television. We've had an opportunity to reach various publics, various people around the community. And most importantly, I talk to you from time to time. You see us out and about and say what you like about the program. And we encourage this. In fact, we've just instituted our new website, and we want you to take a look at it. In addition to that, we have the continuing effort to train a new generation of young people to continue the activities that Project BAIT started with so long ago. I'm glad to be in your sight and talking to you each morning and afternoon or whenever you see this program, when you watch Project BAIT and For My People in particular. Economics, politics, and consciousness. That's what we bring to you, and that's what we want to continue to do, because it's your program. It's about you. And we thank you for continuing to watch, and I'm Ron Scott.
The preceding program was produced by Project BAIT and does not reflect the views of this station.